Are you ready?
And then you make a big stop against Baylor. Baylor! Oh!
Oh shit, they actually did it! They actually fucking got it! So if I'm a cock...
No, I'm supposed to fucking hate it. I don't fucking hate it. I'm just gonna keep it real. I hate it. Okay?
Oh, God. What?
Oh my god, bro. What the
Why? Detroit is on the clock.
Get the... Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, sir. Detroit is on the clock. Wow. And their pick is in as well.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
So, Chris, Dallas in a last-minute exchange decided to trade their pick off to the Detroit
What the fuck are you doing, Jerry? And could not read the defense! You got me jumping! It'd be called cream pie smash.
Oh, God, dude. I knew it.
So, West Virginia played about as good as my fucking hairline is right now. And you probably see my hairline, Bailey. It is bad. Okay?
God!
For the love of football.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live on YouTube, the Pigskin Mafia podcast. And this is the first time I'm ever doing this. NFL Rookie QBs. I'm grading them for the first time on this show's history. Unfreaking believable. This has been probably one of the more highly anticipated draft classes, in my opinion, that I've been wanting to grade for a while now. And we got to see their debuts, and I gotta tell you, I'm excited about this. I really am. I've never really done this before. I've really critiqued a lot, but I never really truly graded them. And I gotta tell you, this is gonna be a fun one. I'm glad that the chat is popping off. Lucky Lamar, a good friend of mine over at Riding High. Shout out to you, my friend. He had to pause Assassin's Creed for this. Which one, by the way? I'm playing Odyssey right now. But let me digress how important this is for me to talk about NFL Rookie QBs. This is the first preseason game. I know it's really not that important in some degree, but technically you want to see how good your QB is going to be at, you know, and Shadows, okay, badass. But you want to fully see how good that QB could be in a NFL type of offense. There's a couple of guys that really stood out in this first week of preseason. I think if we had a lot more reps, I would have graded a lot better. For a couple of guys, there's a couple of guys that actually performed really well, in my opinion. And just to be fair to everybody, I did not give anybody an A. Probably the most or the biggest grade I gave somebody was a B plus, and you won't believe who that was because I watched his film and I was just impressed. And there's a lot of B's and C's on here, but there's one D and there's one F. And you'll probably know who I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. He's actually drafted higher than Cam Miller, who I thought did pretty good in his first game with the Raiders. But this is going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy experience because I never really graded people before on this show. And I get to see all of your little chats and get to see A+ for Shador, which, let's be honest, he got a lot more coverage than what Cam Ward did. And Cam Ward was a first-round draft pick. Okay? We'll get to Quinn here in a little bit. I actually have an interesting take on that one. But let's talk about who didn't play this week, which I know one of them didn't play because he had a hamstring injury. Dylan Gabriel didn't get to play for Cleveland, obviously. Shador took over and balled out. I was really impressed with the way Shador played, but Dylan Gabriel didn't get to play for Cleveland. Hunter Deckers out of Iowa State didn't play for New Orleans. Colin Schlee, I didn't even put his fucking team down. I ain't even put his fucking team down. I don't even know who the fuck that is, to be honest. Will Howard, former Kansas State Wildcat, national champion with Ohio State, drafted to Pittsburgh. I didn't see him on the field, which is insane to me. But then again, you got Aaron Rodgers, and then Skylar Thompson, who balled out for some weird reason. He balled out. And I think Mason Rudolph was playing in that game too, but Will Howard didn't even show up at all. He didn't even play. I don't even think he was dressed out. He might be hurt. I haven't looked at the reports. Curtis Rourke out of Indiana. I didn't see him at all for San Francisco. Ethan Garbers. I didn't see him at all for Carolina. Peyton Thorne, didn't see him. And also, that's actually it. I actually had to cross somebody out. I crossed two people out. But let's go ahead and start with the number 1 overall draft pick, Cam Ward. 5 for 8, 67 yards, passing, 89.1 rating. You know, like, I feel like my grade isn't too fair on Cam Ward because I would have liked to see a little bit more film, but he did drive down the field quite a bit. But I want to see more out of Cam Ward this next preseason game. And I'm pretty sure he's going to do a lot better. I don't think he played bad. I think he played really good managing the game for the Titans when he was in. But I have to give him a C+ because he did not throw a touchdown, obviously, but he did not throw a pick either. He actually did a really good job sustaining a good drive, a good drive or two. And let me be clear on everybody. Everybody looked nervous, and rightfully so. It's their first game of their NFL career, so why wouldn't you be nervous, you know? And I'm pretty sure Lucky would be fumbling twice and getting sacked and throwing 3 interceptions like one certain quarterback did. I'm just kidding. Love you. K-Dub. Oh, yeah, I saw that too. Like, I love that Calvin Ridley is helping out Cam Ward as well. Again, with QBs, you got to have a chemistry with your receivers. And Calvin Ridley with Cam Ward could be potentially dangerous. What I also liked is Gunnar Helm for Cam Ward, helping him out as a tight end. Lucky, I think you're fucking Graham Mertz, who I'm not gonna spoil it. I think you're Graham Mertz though. Give me my wrench. But no, I really liked what I saw out of Cam Ward. Being a leader on the field and just being able to sustain a good drive. What I would have liked to see more is more repetitions. And if he would have gotten a touchdown, easily a B grade for me. But I have to go C plus because there just wasn't enough film on Cam Ward. And the lack of coverage for Cam Ward, too, is pretty ridiculous, too. So, I didn't like that. Now, let's go to the Giants rookie QB, Jackson Dart. Now, we saw Russell Wilson take a couple snaps in this game. Russ looked pretty decent in that offense in Brian Daboll's system. But let's talk about Jackson Dart for a second. He looked fucking awesome for New York, and I think he's gonna potentially be the future of the Giants. I really liked his composure, his confidence through the game. What I want to see less of him doing is try to be Big Ben Roethlisberger. He needs to stop trying to be hero in the position that he's at. You know, that's the quickest way to end your career, you know, just playing like a freaking wing T quarterback. And me and K-Dub know that better. And yeah, K-Dub's got his own grades too. And I'm liking what I see out of K-Dub's. Mine's a little bit different. Mine's a little bit more stricter, I guess, than K-Dub's. But I liked Dart's composure. I liked his moxie. I loved his confidence. But what I want to see less is trying to play hero and not slide. If you don't slide, you're going to get hurt, Jax. Just fucking slide. You gave me anxiety when you played at Ole Miss because of that. Lowering your shoulders shit. But he threw 12 for 19, 154 yards, 1 touchdown with a 106 rating. And he ran three attempts for 24 yards. And I think I'm going to go ahead and give a honest opinion here. I think Jackson Dart is going to end up starting over Russell Wilson before midseason. And you know what's funny? The Giants, when they have Ole Miss quarterbacks, they tend to be consistent playoff teams. Funny how that works. But I just don't think Russell Wilson has any more fuel in the gas tank as far as his mobility and whatnot. But I just think that Jackson Dart starting probably week 6, week 7 probably makes sense. And with him right there and Kim Scatabo and Malik Neighbors, we saw a little Jordan Humphrey ball out. We saw that little receiver. I can't remember his name, but he made the Bills defense look stupid on that one play. I don't know. I just see something good out of the Giants this season with Jackson Dart. Not saying that Russell Wilson's bad. I'm just saying that he's limited to his talent these days. And I just think that Brian Daboll, his job's on the line, and having Russell Wilson there probably isn't the best thing in the world. But I think the Giants will be all right. Defensively, they're unbelievable, but I really liked Jackson Dart's performance against the Bills in to me, facing the Bills, even though it's preseason and they're playing against 2s and 3s, it's still the NFL. It's still the fucking 1% playing out there. Okay, so I gave Jackson Dart a B. So I think he did really well in that game. I just think that he needs to work on sliding more, and yeah, just needs to work on sliding. And one key thing I noticed about Jackson Dart, he made an audible on that one deep bomb to Lil Jordan Humphrey. I was sitting there going, "Wow, that's pretty cool." And that was a 6-man blitz, if I'm not mistaken, by the Bills. So, all right. So now we'll go to quarterback number 3, Tyler Show, or whatever the hell his last name is. Graduated from Louisville, but former Red Raider, transfer portal kid, massive transfer portal kid. He went 15 for 22, 165, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a horrible interception. That was a god awful throw. Ran for 1 carry with 3 yards, and his rating was an 86.4 rating. Tyler Show had some pronounced Shug. I don't know. I really don't give a shit what his last name is. Let's be real. He's not going to be a starting QB in the NFL anytime soon. He's still a little bit underdeveloped. That one pick, he should have read a little better on that one. That was clear as day a giveaway for the Chargers defense. But I will say this: he made some pretty good throws in that game. I was more surprised on his performance. Really, like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good in the sense that, oh, he's going to be the next starter for the Saints. I'd still think it's going to be Spitzer Rattler, which the fucking Saints are cooked this season. So I gave Show a C+. I don't know. Maybe I was a little bit more lenient on him because of that one deep bomb, and he made some pretty good throws after watching some film on him. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a starter anytime soon. So now we go to Seattle, where Jalen Milroe. There's a name that I've been wanting to talk about. Okay, Jalen Milroe, to me, played good for his talent, and I really liked the way he played that game, and they did it. The Seahawks coaching staff did a good job offensively on using his feet and using his option reading in that game. I really enjoyed watching that. I just feel like he tends to overthrow. He tends to underthrow his receivers. Milroe, to me, in this game, played probably the ceiling of his career. I hope not. I hope that he excels. But to me, he's a poor man's Lamar Jackson. But not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that I just don't think he's starter material yet. In order to do that, you got to work on your progressions a little better, Milroe. He went 6 for 10, 61 yards, 77 rating. He rushed for 338 yards rushing. Me and Lucky both said that. Yeah, he's just a poor man's Lamar, in my opinion. I gave him a C plus in that game because he played about as well as you expected him to play. His ceiling, anyway. But the problem with Milroe is that he's super inconsistent when he's throwing. And I feel like they just got to teach him how to throw more accurately, in my opinion. But it is what it is, you know. I hope that he beats out Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock is just he's not that good, guys. He's not good. But and now here we are talking about Shedeur Sanders. It was his time. Started for the Cleveland Browns. And I gotta say, he looked pretty poised. He looked very comfortable watching him play. At first, his first couple drives, he kind of looked a little shaky for a Sanders, you know. But I will say this. There's no hate with Shedeur. Oh, yeah, thanks for reminding me, Lucky, that Sam Darnold is there. Like, that's even better. Like, that's any better. Shedeur played really well against a 1% group of guys, you know. Yeah, I know I've been kind of critical on Shedeur about his collegiate career, but he did really well in this game. But we got to pump the brakes on him proving the NFL wrong and all this other shit. I feel like when people hype somebody up, it's set up for failure. We don't need to hype up Shedeur. We need to pat him on the back, say, good job, go win you a next, win you a next one. Don't worry about fucking what other people say and just go out there and ball. He balled out there. He played really well. Those 2 touchdown passes, oh my God. Chef's kiss. Chef's motherfucking kiss on those 2 touchdown passes. So he went 14 for 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, had a QBR of 106.8. It rushed for 4 carries with 19 yards. And yeah, I did have him at a B-, but after watching his film again, I gotta agree with Caleb here. B+ for Shedeur. And especially for being your first NFL game, even though it's preseason, even though it's the Panthers, he did really well. And I was really, really impressed with the way, instead of trying to be superhero like he did at Colorado, on that second touchdown pass, he slid to the right when he noticed that there was a linebacker coming in, so that way his running back could chip that guy, and he was able to throw it in that window. And I forgot who caught it for Shedeur, but in that touchdown. But man, it was nice, man. I was really impressed. And I'm sorry, but Cleveland is a fucking shit show right now. because they still have Shador listed as the number 4 quarterback in their depth chart. I would at least slide Shador over Dylan Gabriel. Come on now. We all know Dylan Gabriel isn't that fucking good at football. He's only good at running the football. But yeah, I give Shador a B+ after rewatching the film and rewatching his tape, and just, man, he looked like a fucking veteran out there. I'm not gonna bullshit you. He looked like a fucking veteran. So, B+ on that one. Let's see how he does against the Eagles, though. So let's just pump the brakes on. He proved the NFL wrong, because once people start chit-chatting about that shit, and people start saying that he proved the NFL wrong, and that fuck the haters and all this other shit, bad things start to happen. I'm just saying, I've seen it happen before with a lot of guys that played in the NFL. It happens. It happens to a lot of people. Like Tommy DeVito. The Giants fans were hyping him up. Remember that? What happened? He's still on the depth chart, but like the 4th string. So we gotta cool the jets on Shador, please. Now we get to Kyle McCord, a quarterback that I was pretty intrigued on this season. I was really excited to see how he'd fare in the NFL until he got drafted to the Eagles. As soon as I saw that he went to the Eagles. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me about Jeremy Lin. That's another one that people hyped up and watched the fucking rocket ship blow up and crash. But Kyle McCord, to me, I was really excited to see what he could do in the NFL until he got drafted to the Eagles. As soon as he got drafted to the Eagles, I was like, oh, he ain't fucking playing. He ain't fucking playing. And Lucky is a Eagles fan, so Lucky, I'm interested to see what your grade is on Kyle McCord, because I know we didn't see a whole lot of him, but I watched his film, and Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that? It was bad. 1 for 5, 8 yards, 1 interception, 1 INT. He was so bad that they didn't even fucking rate him. They didn't even rate him. He was that bad. I gave him a fucking D- because he didn't play enough for me to give him an F. But he was damn near close to getting an F. And I agree, he doesn't have the NFL arm. I think he throws pretty good short and intermediate routes, but other than that, he doesn't have like the prolific NFL rocket arm that you would want. But he didn't have enough film for me to actually give him an F. 5 passing attempts, 1 completed, but another one intercepted. I'm seriously debating on actually putting him an F, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because of the simple fact that I've seen him play before, and it is what it is. You know what? Fuck that. Scratch that shit. Here, I'll show you where it says D minus. F. Yeah. You can't. Thanks for making me realize I made a mistake on that one. Like, actually looking at the stat again and actually looking at the tape, he deserves a fucking F. I'm sorry. I know, you're an Eagles fan, and you'll have high expectations out of these QBs, so even the backups. So yeah, enough with Kyle McCord. I think he's cooked. He's gonna be a UFL guy at some point. Oh yeah, that's. Or 1 carry, 5 yards, and a fumble. Oh, shit. All right. So now we're going to talk about Indianapolis's rookie QB, Riley Leonard. Okay. You know, he actually threw 12 for 24, so 50% completion rate. 92 yards. No touchdowns. He did throw an interception. 86.8 QBR. And he ran 4 carries with 34 yards. I had him at a C, but, you know, I'm going to drop him down to a, you know what, no. He's going to get dropped down to a D+. There were some throws they made that were really good. And there were some drop passes, but it wasn't like Miami. I'll get to that later. He made some pretty good throws, and I think the stats are a little deceiving on him. But at the same time, he made a pretty bad throw, which forced an interception. I know it's his first game. I just I don't know. Indianapolis is fucking cooked. They're gonna have Daniel Jones starting over fucking IR 5. Yes, injury report 5. In other words, Anthony Richardson. That motherfucker needs to quit football, by the way. Riley Leonard, average college quarterback, below average QB in the NFL. Graham Mertz. By the way, I graded Riley Leonard D+. Graham Mertz. Okay. I'm standing up for this one. Because you have to understand something about Graham Mertz. I don't know how the fuck he got invited to the combine. I don't know how in the fuck the NFL thought that Graham Mertz was going to change things in the NFL. Graham Mertz is shitty. He is the worst quarterback out of this whole bunch. You saw it at Wisconsin. You saw it at Florida. And now you see it at fucking Houston. Oh my to the 3 living goodness. Oh. Let me tell you his stats first. 7 for 14, 27 yards. 7 for 14 for 27 fucking yards. His QBR was a 16.7. The one good stat that he had was 1 carry for 9 yards. How many picks did he throw, TJ? I gotta walk around for this one. 3! He threw 3 interceptions in his debut. 3! How in the fuck? I haven't even heard any reports that this kid didn't get cut. He was so awful that I would fucking take Anthony Richardson over Graham Mertz. He is that bad. He is fucking garbage. He is the worst performing quarterback out of this entire fucking list. There's no reason why we need to talk about Graham Mertz anymore. F, 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 F. That's about the same amount of fucking picks that he's thrown in his fucking career, by the way. F, 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 F. That dude sucks. That dude has to be the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. I never want to hear about Graham Mertz in the NFL. I never want to see Graham Mertz onto the field. I never even want to speak about Graham Mertz ever again. Go fucking bag my groceries at the fucking nearest Walmart. You're garbage. Go fill out a fucking job application, Graham Mertz. You fucking sorry ass piece of work. God dang. You almost made me say something I almost regretted. But at least we got a palate cleanser on this one before I get to what I need to address. Then we go to Vegas with Cam Miller, who I thought played pretty well in his first game. North Dakota State product. Usually they played the loaded option under Pete Carroll. I think Cam Miller could be a sleeper QB at some point and some time. 6 for 7, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Had the highest rating, highest QBR rating out of any quarterback that played as a rookie in their first game in the preseason. 151.5 rating with 1 carry and 4 yards. And I gotta say, kid played with a lot of moxie. He played really well. He played some really good football, guys. I liked Cam Miller. He's very underrated. I'm just gonna say that right now. I like Cam Miller. I'm excited to see what he does in the next preseason game. I gave him a B- because there really wasn't enough. Well, yeah, there wasn't enough to show me, but he was damn near accurate, and the throws that he made were spot on. If you go back and watch Cam Miller, you'll understand why I gave him a B- instead of like a C+ like I gave Cam Ward. He looked very comfortable in his first game in the NFL, and he's a North Dakota State product, by the way. So now here's where things get sour with me, because I have mixed emotions about this, and I'm a I'm a bit more critical in the NFL as far as quarterbacks. Y'all have seen me talk about Patrick Mahomes, and I've been very critical of QBs in the past with NFL QBs. Quinn Ewers out of Texas, drafted by Miami. Now, I'm going to address something first. I don't think he was the worst QB in this entire list. But as a QB in the NFL, no matter who's on the field, no matter what goes on the field, no matter where you are on the depth chart, you got to play well. I felt like Quinn played nervous Quinn in that game. And for those that don't know what nervous Quinn is where when he's super nervous, he tends to make mistakes. He tends to make irrational decision making. He tends to do things where even I wouldn't do as a quarterback, and I was terrible. I'm a terrible quarterback. I'm gonna be honest. I never played quarterback except for one time in Pee Wee football, and I ran the ball. But there were some good throws by Quinn, but then here's where I'm kind of mixed emotion with Quinn Ewers. The first drive I get, he overthrew his receivers on the first drive. Second drive, this is where I kind of got a little heated. Not at Quinn, but Miami. Receivers have to catch the fucking football. You can't tell me that fucking jailbreak, he couldn't fucking catch the ball. You couldn't tell me that fucking hitch ball, he couldn't catch the ball. And yeah, Quinn did not play that well. He's not innocent by any means. He did not play well. But I think I counted 7 drop balls by Miami that could have been completed. Instead of 5 for 18, we probably would have had 12 for 18. Or maybe 11 for 18. But yet, we have this fucking stupid ass shit with the receivers that they don't know how to catch the fucking football. And I think Mike Leach said this best. What happens when remember when dinosaurs used to, or T-Rexes, they used to have like the short little arms, you know. And he brought up evolution. When you don't use a certain body part, it tends to go away. It tends to disappear. I'm going to be careful with how I say this. I'm genuinely afraid for their kids. I'm serious about this. I'm scared for their kids. You know why? I fear at some point when they have their kids, they're not going to have hands. And why is that, TJ? Why are you so scared that they won't have hands? You know, you use your hands to build. You use your hands to catch the ball, right? Well, evidently those fucking third or fourth stringers don't know how to catch a fucking football. So guess what? Their kids aren't going to have hands. Their kids are going to be fucking T-Rexes. You know, they're going to be roaming around the fucking street like this. Hey, Jim. They're going to roam around the street looking like fucking circus freaks because their dads don't know how to catch a fucking football. Even if it's tightly contested. I'm sorry, but Quinn threw some pretty good balls that should have been caught. At least 5 of them were catchable. Maybe 2 drop passes were really well defended. But Quinn's got to be better with pocket navigation. He's got to be better. And another thing, too. Why the fuck is that left tackle getting fucking blown up? He got fucking mollywopped by fucking the Chicago Bears defense. I don't even know who that was. He fucking blew him over. He got blown over by a fucking nobody. And everybody's got to point at Quinn because he fucking fumbled. But if Tua did that, that left tackle would have been chastised. He would have been fucking exiled out of Miami. But yeah, here we are. We're going to blame Quinn for that one. Yeah, he fumbled. He shouldn't have fumbled. And he needs to be better about pocket navigation. But you also have to take into consideration that that fucking left tackle got fucking bullied. That fucking offensive line got bullied. And, you know, the Dolphins organization is just a fucking mess. As soon as I saw Quinn get drafted by the Dolphins, I thought about the same thing about Kyle McCord when he got drafted by the Eagles. The only difference is the Eagles are a winning fucking organization. Miami, they haven't won anything since 70-fucking-2. And yet, we're going to fucking blame all things Quinn, but don't blame anything on Tua because we got to make sure that he's on concussion protocol and he's okay. Even though he just threw a fucking pick 6 to fucking the wide open defender. I'm just saying, you know, the same thing with the whole fucking blaming Andy Reid for that Super Bowl loss when you should have gave him credit with the Super Bowl win too. That's the same fucking dynamic in my opinion. But I'm giving Quinn a D. He had 2 fumbles and I think Mike McDaniel is going to get fired mid-season. He is a fucking idiot. He is. That's the result of when you allow analytical guys who got hired on to work on analytical work offensively and then gets hired to be a fucking head coach. Miami's fucking cooked. Miami's cooked. They have no chance of beating Buffalo, New England. They might have a slim chance against the Jets. But Miami's fucking cooked. Tell me otherwise, because that fucking Dolphins organization is so shitty. But I'm giving Quinn a D because I feel like he could have played a little better, but he was playing nervous Quinn. And when nervous Quinn plays, he doesn't play too well. He makes silly mistakes. And it looked like it was too easy to strip sack him. So, yeah, I'm giving him a D. Now we'll move on to Green Bay. Taylor Elgersma. I didn't have enough film on him, but I do have the stats. 3 for 4, 24 yards, and his QBR is at 89.6. I'm giving him an E because there's not enough film for me to look at, and when I tried to look him up on the film, it just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. DJ Uyagavale, or what? However the fuck you say it. He threw for 3 for 4, 74 yards, 105.6 QBR. And by the way, this is 2 games for DJU. 105.6 QBR, rush for 4, -6. And that's just in 2 games. Hall of Fame game and this last game against the Saints. He was 2 for 3 in the Hall of Fame game. I think he had like a 24-yarder or something like that. I don't fucking know. And then he had 1 pass completed, but it was for 49 yards. So, again, not enough film for me to judge DJU. All right. Max Brosmer out of New Hampshire. This fucking kid was pretty impressive to me, but he did fumble, and he plays for the Vikings, okay? But Max Brosmer, 5 for 8, 47 yards, 1 touchdown, and he had a 118.2 QBR. Not bad for a New Hampshire kid, huh? Reminds me of Jimmy G. Because that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a Jimmy G at some point. But I liked it. I liked his film. He was all right. I'm giving him a C+ on that one. I thought he was all right. But he'll never be a starter in the league. Let's just be real. Jacksonville, Seth Hennigan. Quarterback out of Memphis, by the way. He was with the Coach Gruden QB camp or whatever. I gotta say, Seth Hennigan impressed me a little bit. I didn't expect him to make throws that he made, but he did have 11 for 14, 78 yards, 89.9 average, or not average, but QBR, and he rushed 1 for 2 yards. But man, I gotta say, he made some pretty good throws. He was calm, cool, collected throughout the whole time that he was playing. Will he beat out Trevor Lawrence? I don't think so. I think his limitations journeyman, but we'll see. We've seen some pretty good feel good stories out of these guys. So I gave him a B. I felt like he played really safe football. But that's just my opinion. New England's Ben Wooldridge out of the University of Louisiana. Raging Cajuns. Threw 9 for 12, 132 yards, 1 touchdown, and had a QBR of 138.2. And I believe that's the second highest QBR among NFL QB rookies. And it is. So I was right. That kid's fucking impressive. If you haven't watched his fucking film, you need to. I was really impressed with him. I think he was the best performing rookie in this entire list. Not by much, but he was impressive. Especially the way he handled himself in that game. And he threw 9 for 12, 132 yards, 1 touchdown, 138.2. I already fucking said that. Jesus Christ, TJ, wake up. I gave him a B+. He played like a really good game manager. Similar to Shador, but we could argue which one played better. In my honest opinion, Ben Wooldridge played a little bit better than Shador. But, it's week 1 and it's preseason. It is what it is. I like Ben Wooldridge. We'll see how he does week 2. And we're going to drop down to Brady Cook for the Jets. 6 for 8, 62 yards, 96.9 QBR with 1 rush, negative 50 yard or negative 5 yards. My bad. Not enough film for me, but I like him. I like Brady Cook. He played with a little bit of confidence, played safe football. I gave him a C. And last QB to talk about, Connor Bazelak. Connor Bazelak out of Bowling Green, the Falcons. J-Mo knows a little bit about Bowling Green, I'm sure. Connor Bazelak, 6 for 9, 48 yards, 79.9 QBR. Again, not enough film for me to be too judgmental or over judgmental or under judgmental, whatever. But I'm giving him a C as well. I thought he played pretty well. Game managing type of football. But, he's backing up Baker Mayfield. That's a good quarterback to learn from. I don't care what anybody says. Baker is a good quarterback to learn from. So, that is all I have for rookie QBs in their performances. I'll tell you this, guys. There's some pretty good QB play for NFL QB rookies. But I feel like there's still a lot of growth with all these guys. That includes Shador. That includes Jackson Dart. That includes Ben Wooldridge. It includes a lot of people, and a lot of people have a lot to prove, like Quinn Ewers. He's got a lot to prove, especially after that performance against the Bears, And Shador, can he top off that performance that he did against Carolina, against the Eagles? We shall see. Cam Ward, is he going to get more reps in? I feel like the more reps you play in preseason, the better you will be. And repetition matters at QB. And a lot of people don't think about that shit anymore. They think about the fucking fantasy draft points. They think about the overs and unders. When really, you need to be considerate and think about the development of these quarterbacks. We don't see very many developed quarterbacks anymore. We just don't. It's more RPO based. It's more fucking dinks and dunks. I would say probably the most developed QB out of anybody is Joe Burrow, but he doesn't have a ring to show for it. Patrick Mahomes does, but I still think he's still a little bit underdeveloped in some ways. And, and I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback. I just think that there's some misleading stats that Mahomes has. Like when people say Mahomes has the most yak yards in NFL history, do you know why? Because he's throwing dinks and dunks. Plain and simple. And it's not just to hate on Mahomes. And you can see I got a Patrick Mahomes jersey. I'm just spitting facts here. But I do want to touch on this last subject that everybody's talking about. John Mateer, out of Oklahoma, transferred out of Washington State. Some leaks came out about his Venmo back in 2022. There's a specific one where he made a bet, according to this screenshot, that he bet on USC and UCLA that year. And that was a good game, by the way. That really was. But I'm not going to blame the kid. I'm going to blame the system. If he did or did not do it, it doesn't matter. It will once it comes out that he did do it, and he says he didn't do it, and Oklahoma's working on it with him, and he wrote a statement saying that he didn't do it. It was a joke or whatever. You know, you can't joke about stuff like that. But let's talk about the real problem. The NCAA. You fucking idiots. You know that one scene from The Irishman where he's fucking in the office, in his office with Frank Sheeran, and it's Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, right? And he's got some of his workers there. And he's sitting there just, or they're about to get bitched at by Al Pacino. And Al Pacino does this. He does this. I'm sitting in a room full of fucking idiots. How could you do that? You know what you did? That type of shit. Like, that's how I feel with the NCAA right now. How could you do that? How could you allow these kids to make ridiculous amount of money that they're able to do this stupid shit? The NCAA, non-caring assholes of America, have really screwed the pooch on this one. They need to be blamed. And I'm telling you right now, John Mateer, if you didn't actually do it, I would sue the fuck out of the NCAA. The NCAA has screwed up more ways with the NIL, with the transfer portal, more than enough. It's about freaking time that something backfires on the NCAA once again, and people are actually speaking out on it. I saw Joel Klatt talk about it. I saw Coach JB. I'm starting to see people from Fox blowing this shit up. You know, the ones that aren't fired. You know, the NCAA really needs to clean the closet, or they need to just disintegrate that entire fucking establishment. And there needs to be a commissioner. There needs to be a committee, like an actual committee with former coaches like Nick Saban and all these other guys that actually are retired, like jeez, I just had allergies. But you get my point. There needs to be stability with this shit. We don't have stability in college football anymore because of the transfer portal and NIL. I talked about it last week. Literally last week or the week before. Talked about this shit. That there's not enough stability. And look what happens. Shit like this happens. Where flash of the past, 2022, when NIL was starting to become a thing, you know, or starting to settle down in a way. But yet it's never settled down because we do not have structure. We do not have a fucking idea what we're doing as far as paying players. We're paying them based off their play or their position, their starting position, where they're at on the depth chart. You know, the NCAA is just a room full of fucking idiots. They really are. It's the fucking silliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Flat out. It is the silliest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But, you know, let's just keep running college football to the ground. Let's keep running college sports to the ground, NCAA, until people start getting fed up and start fucking hitting you with that fucking hostile takeover. I'm just being flat out. NCAA, non-caring assholes of America, should change their names to RFFI. Room full of fucking idiots. I said what I said. But thank you guys for watching. This has been a great show. I had a lot of fun. Got a lot of chatter in the chat amongst the people. It was fun talking about rookie QBs for the first time on the show. Grading rookie QBs on this show. I can't thank y'all enough for watching and supporting. Tune in next week. We're going to start talking about college football again. And actually going over some games and what games are going to be interesting throughout the season. And I think I'm going to try to do a weekly watch along where I'm sitting there watching a game and I'll try to have the game on without the sound, or I don't know. I'll try to get that figured out. It may be just me watching the fucking game, and y'all just have to hear me commentate the game, where I'm just sitting there commentating the game. I'll be sitting here like this with the microphone pointed towards me, and I'll sit there and I'll talk about the game and talk about how well the team's playing, how shitty the team's playing, whatever it is. But thank you guys for watching. This has been a fun show, and I want to do this again some other time. But it's a weekly show. I can't do running backs or receivers because they don't get enough reps in my opinion. And I'm talking about rookies, obviously. But thank you guys for watching. This has been a great show. We are the greatest show on YouTube Shorts. We are the PMP. Good night. Mwah! And good night. Bang! Toodaloo, motherfuckers!